Okay. So, so here, as you can see, you have a notebook, data import. Okay. So this is your data science engineering dashboard. So if you go here, okay, data science engineering, click on machine learning. You click on machine learning, you have less, option that you have. Okay. But doesn't matter. Okay. Which view you select doesn't really matter. Okay. You have all the things with you. Now, first things first, okay, you need to go and create a cluster. Step one, create cluster, because this is where all your work will happen. So if your cluster is not running, okay, you cannot do anything. Okay, so you need to click on cluster and you can give it a name. My cluster or something you can call it. You can give any name, doesn't matter. And here you can create only one cluster. Okay, you can create only one cluster, and you see here it says free 15 GB memory. Okay, and your compute will automatically terminate after an idle period of 1 to 2 hours. So if you don't work for 1 hour, your cluster will be taken off. So you have to again create cluster. Okay. You can select runtime. Okay, so you can leave it standard here, and you can click on create compute. Okay, so create compute, it will take few minutes. Okay, to create this cluster can take 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes at max to create your cluster. Now, if your cluster is created, you will be able to perform different action. So, um, um, what I want, okay, you is like for next couple of days, let's work with Databricks itself. Okay. Now,
Okay.
problem here is like if you can't say, okay, let me do this and then rest I will do tomorrow or after a couple of hours, because your cluster will terminate, isn't it? So you sit when you have like 1 to 2 hours continuously, then you sit, you work on it. Okay. If you do for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and you go back and then come back again, you'll be creating cluster only for the day. Okay. So yes. So you can practice one day um, SQL, one day Python. So cluster is ready now. You see this green tick? That means cluster is ready. So your Databricks cluster is a set of resources, right? Computation resources, where you will run our data engineering or data science or analytics workloads. Okay. So you can perform your warehouse like ETL thing. You can perform your queries. Okay. So your cluster is ready. Now, how do you perform all those things? To perform all those things, you have to create a notebook. Okay. To create a notebook. And notebook is your primary tool for creating all your tasks. Okay. Um, okay. So let's say this is your notebook created here, and by default, you can see here, right? It says Python. Okay. So this is, your, it has a Python language that you need to do it here. So what I can do, I can, select Python and perform, let's say I need to perform some basic Python operations. Okay. So I'll say here, um, num1, or let's say length equal to 45, breadth equal to 56, area equal to length into breadth, print area of the rectangle is, and I will say area. Okay. Now you go and hit on play, run cell. Okay. So it says automatically compute resource connect. Okay, automatically connected. Now, what we could have done is we could have selected here. Option connect is there. You could have you could have connected here, but we have only one anyway, right? So it figured out that there is only one and it ran. So now I see the output here, area of rectangle.
Yeah.
It has calculated. Okay, it has calculated your area of rectangle. So this is how you can run your Python program or Python thing on your notebook. Now, okay, you can of course name this. Now the thing is that when you name this notebook, notebook will not be deleted. Notebook will remain. Okay, let's say you perform something and you shut down the system and go back. Your cluster will be removed, cleared off, but notebook will be deleted. So I can save note. I'll call it a notebook and 23 November 23. Okay, this is what I call this. Now I can create here uh, uh, mm, okay. So I was thinking is this is good, right? Okay. So we will see different options now. Okay. So I will go ahead and first okay. I'll say add cell below. Okay. So when you add cell below, this is also connected to Python automatically. I can click on it and select on say SQL. Okay. Now, when you have a notebook with multiple programming languages, like here first, same file, right? One file I have Python and next I'm doing SQL, it will add percentage SQL to indicate that it is SQL code. Okay. And and um, we'll create a table. So let's create a table. Okay. Let's create a table. So how do you create a table? You'll create a table using create table command, isn't it? So let's say I say here create table and I'll say employees, right? And then here you give your column name. So I want to give EMPID. Okay. I'll call this as int. Okay. And I'll call this as primary key. Okay. Then name will be, let's say, varchar. And let's say I give size of 50. Right. Then we can have phone varchar 12, phone email varchar 35, city varchar 20. Okay, that's it. Looks good. Now I go and I will go and click on play, run cell. You see? Okay, so it says table constraints are only supported in Unity catalog. Okay. So, okay, let me remove this for now. Run cell. Still running. Yeah, looks like it ran, correct? It ran. So the table is created, your Python code is created. Now you want to add, let's say, um, um, okay, we will try to add data to it. Okay, so how do you add data to a SQL command?
We
Which
insert into.
insert into, right? Yeah. So insert into, and you have your table name, which is employees. Employees. Okay, and we will enter values for all of this. So directly I can say values. I'm not selecting column because I want to insert value for all of this. Okay. Here I'll create employee ID, let's say 121. Name with, let's say, Sachin. Okay. Then you have phone, let's say I give 2468. Then email. Okay. Okay. Then city. Okay. This should work, right? Okay. I'm going to select this as SQL and hit on run. Right? It has run successfully, isn't it? Okay. Now you want to run it. I'm going to again create and I'll select into SQL. And I say um, select star from menu. You see that?
Yeah.
Um, uh, you um, okay, I want you to get used to this. Okay, so can we do some programs here for SQL? Let's say
Yeah.
we'll add more data to this. Okay. Um, okay. The data warehousing stuff we can only do on the Azure. We can't do it here. Okay. So
Mhm.
so once we are comfortable with Databricks, then we'll move to Azure. 15 days trial version. We'll do some programs there. Now here
Okay.
we can add like 122, 123, 124, 125, 126. Okay, and here let's say I add Sachin, Virat, um,
Okay.
Rohit. Okay, and we'll change the numbers here. Okay, and Mumbai, Hyderabad, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai. Okay. So now we will run this. Okay. We have already run Mumbai, right? This one. So we'll delete this and we will run the SQL query. I think it's run successful, right? Yeah. Now we go back and run from here. Run cell. Okay, so complete data is read here. Now we can perform your SQL commands. So below. Now we will add let's run some queries, right? So select star from employees where city equal to Chennai, right? So we'll change it back to SQL. That's it. Okay, so you got Chennai. We can do select employees where name like S, name like your capital S. I'll select it and then I go here and say run cell. Okay, so how do we give like?
The name starts with this.
Right. So you need to give percentage here, right? Because when you don't give percentage, it looks for exactly like S, right?
Yeah, the first letter of this.
Right. Like S percentage. So starting with S and anything followed after S. Right. So you got all this with S. You want to update it. You want to update. You want to update. Let's say we have Sachin 2 times Sachin. Okay. Okay. So delete Sky record, right? Or okay, let's update Sky email ID. So update. How do I give? Want to update email ID of
Email.
Yes. So how do I give update? Update table name, right?
Yeah.
Employees. And then I'm going to say set your email equal to sky@sky.com. Now, if I leave it, then what happens? All the email IDs will be changed to sky.com, right? Because I'm saying update employees set email to sky.com. So all the email will be will be changed.
Where statement.
Sorry.
I think we need to include where statement.
Where you have to apply where condition. Where your EMPID equal to 125. Okay. Now when you run this, right? One affected. Now we go and say select star from employees. The sky email ID got changed. Right? So as I said, right, Databricks is only going to provide you a platform where you are able to perform your Python programs or your SQL queries, right?
Yeah.
Now you want to create a new dashboard, let's say. So if you talking about this specific, you can create here, and it will create a dashboard. Okay. Now you see this creates a dashboard. Okay, and this dashboard has a name that you want to give. So I can call it as dashboard one, let's say, for example. And see, workspace, as I told you yesterday, right? Workspace is a platform where multiple people will connect and work, right? So it could be data scientists, data engineers, business analysts. Now let's say whatever we are doing on our notebook, and the information is with us only. When you say publish, okay, then everyone who has access to my cluster, right? My cluster is where you are creating the compute, right? It's going to perform all the operations. So whoever has access to my cluster will be able to, or the workspace, right? Because workspace will be created for a cluster only. So they will be able to access your notebook. So that's how collaboration can happen. If we both work on same workspace, then whatever I do and I publish, you will be able to see, okay, everything. You can then run, you can visualize. So mostly it is the developers will create and the business people will visualize, right? So now, okay, so you have this, and so you have like float and stack as a view, okay, the way you want to set it up. Now, okay, you can change the data set here. Okay, you can create preset data set. So this will like a view. This is how the people who do not have access to edit, they will be able to see your dashboard. Okay, exit and okay. So for now, I think we will have it here. Okay. Later, what we can do is we will also learn. Okay, let's see here. Now, when we go back to our workspace and we go to, so you see here shared and users, right? These are all my work here. Okay, and this the shared will be the shared which I publish. So when you go to workbook, okay, you can actually see only the users that are there here or the shared work. If I click on users, okay, I'll be able to see my name and then all my things will be set up here. Okay. What else I wanted to show you here? So yes, so now since you already have done Python and SQL, you can practice on this notebook. Okay, today you practice doing this. Now, yeah, you saying something?
No, I'm just saying yes.
Yeah. So this is your folder here, right? And the superstar folders will come. I don't know why it's not. Maybe it did not get uploaded correctly. Maybe it's still uploading. It says, okay. So now you can create a table with UI. You can select. In this case, we have only one cluster running, but in case you have multiple cluster, you can select the cluster. Then you can click on preview. So this is a table name. Okay. So yeah, so this is what is creating table here. So so this is the data that we have got, correct? Now, when you take this data, okay, there are some settings that you have to perform. So this is your table name, okay? When, we will be able to read this like a table here. And the file type is CSV. First row is header, of course, right? So you say first row is header. So first row will not be treated as data. Okay, now you say create table, because what we read is just a file. The file has to be converted to table here. Okay, now this is your schema. Okay, and this is the sample data. Okay, now if we go to our uh, workspace, and let's go to data and see if we are able to see. Now see, this table that we got is actually here. I told you we were missing a step. Okay, so this is the step. You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we will be able to read it without any problem. So it's vaccination underscore data underscore one CSV. Okay. So here now I go and okay. I'm going to say add cell below and select equal and select star from vaccination underscore data underscore one underscore CSV. Okay, let's run it. Okay, so you have this. Okay, now I have a mini project. Okay, let me share with you. You see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so ignore Superstore. Superstore is one that I showed you. Ignore Superstore and all this. Look at this. Now these Excel are all related. Okay, these files are all related. So I will put this in a shared drive. Okay, upload all these files, create the table, and perform your joins. Okay, so for example, if you have, I'll show you a couple of things. Okay, let's go back to our notes here. So I'm going to go to data again. Okay, create table by uploading files, and I go to data sets, online retail, and I have order reviews, and orders and products. You see, I'm uploading three files here. Okay, so order reviews are your for every order you got a review. Okay, so it will have rating plus header and blank. Now this, I think this data has the the reviews in Portuguese. Okay, not in English.
Mhm.
So let it be in Portuguese. I want you to select a product, select an order, and tell which product it is and what is the review. Right? So you can create multiple joins here. So like if you look at a particular order, okay, then for that order, what product is there and what is the rating from that product. Okay, let it come up. Order reviews is done. It can be slow because of internet, because it has to run on the server. Okay, so I'll just save these. Okay, in Drive so that when I have to call the names, I know the exact names that I need to call. Now you go and create UI in table, select a cluster, only one cluster, view table. So this is your orders table. Okay, so first row it header, of course. Okay, I'll say create table. So order is done. Okay. Okay, so this is your order. Now you go to our workspace. Forgot the name. Okay, let me copy it. It's orders underscore CSV, simple. Now what happened? Okay, semicolon we have to give. Okay, in SQL command you have to give semicolon. Okay, so this is the first one and this is the second one. You see there's an error here. Everything has been read as a single, this thing, single value, because okay, because this was a CSV file and comma was not read correctly. So you have to read it again. Okay, you have to read it again and correct the values here. right?
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, this is what this is what the purpose of Databricks is. Upload the data from whatever source you have. It is from S3 or from different source, different online source, or upload through CSV. Operate on it, play with it. Okay, make your changes, and these changes will be saved. It's like a shared drive as well. Okay, you save it, you publish it, and everybody who has access to that particular workspace will be able to see it. All right. So we'll stop here for today. Okay.
Yeah.
Tomorrow when we connect, we will we will okay. So do you want to get into the warehouse kind of thing? Okay. So we'll do
Okay.
warehouse because warehouse is not available here. So maybe so as per my plan, okay, I'll just share what I had created for you. Just give me a second.